Shalom Aleichem and welcome to Online Smicha. You know, there's so much going on now talking about who you could trust from what supermarket you could buy kosher food, kosher meat, etc. And the taiva of money is so great that who knows what people are going to do to make a dollar. So I want to quote to you some dinim in Shulchan Aruch that I think will be a helpful hint. And perhaps one of them would be quite shocking. Telling you how much a person has to be careful before he buys a food item. And this is in Yeridea, Simen Kuf Yud Ches, Seif Aleph. And the truth, the whole Simen Kuf Yud Ches talks about this, about different food items, and this is almost in every store. The foods are made in a plant and they're delivered by a guy, and there's a wholesaler, a distributor, and there's so many hands changing over before the Fruma Yid is selling it. Who says that he got what he ordered? Who says what he ordered is actually 100% kosher, etc. And if you live in some remote area and you're buying your kosher food or your food from a supermarket chain, which is not even Jewish, but it just has a hechsher, who says that the chain of hands that touched the food item didn't make it change it to make it more attract more customers, and it's not what you see, what you got. So there is halachas and Shulchan Aruch which we follow. In Simen Kuf Yud Ches Seif Aleph it says like this: Yayin, basar, v'chatichas dag. When you're dealing with issues of wine, or meat, or fish, she'ein by siman, where there is no siman, you don't know if it's kosher or not kosher, etc. Shehifkid oishalach biad oivig chavim, that was either a guy's taking care of it now, a guy is selling it, or it went through a guy, it was delivered by a guy. It wasn't from beginning to end in the rishus of a yid. A yid, we believe, if he's honest from a yid, he has a koyach on the manus, and he's the sheikh and he's selling it from his backyard. There's nothing to worry about. But if there is a moving from place to place, or it's not now by a yid, there's always the taiva of money is way too big. So there's halachas that we rely on that allows us that under circumstances we could buy from just anybody or anywhere. So the halacha is that when you're dealing with these three, and in the Gemara's times there was a fourth one, was tchelas also, sarich shnei chaysamis. The only way you could be guaranteed or secure that what you're buying is actually what you think it is, kosher food, is if it has two seals. Not one seal, two seals. Now, I'm not going to get into it now, how the two seals work. That's different how it was back then, how it could be interpreted today's days with the sophisticated new machinery, etc. But for yayin, basar, and dag, fish, all different forms of fish, you need shnei chaysamis. Basar, you need shnei chaysamis. Yayin, you need shnei chaysamis. But other things like bread and milk, etc., it says it would be enough to have one chaysam. What's the difference? Why for the first group, chavis, which would be basar, chatichas dag, basar, and yayin, and tchelis. Why for those you need shnei chaysamis? So there are two reasons. Reason number one is because these are very expensive items. This is you could turn over a lot of money. Fish is expensive, meat is expensive, and wine is expensive. And a person will, if he can make a quick buck by changing wrappers or whatever, he will do it. However, the other isurim, it's not too much to be made. A person won't go through the bother. He'll find other things to do faster before he bothers to make a couple of cents, a couple of pennies. That's one reason. The Rashba, however, gives a different reason. The Rashba says it depends how severe the Isser is. When we are worried about the possibility of an Isser, the Iraisa, you need to have Shnei Chaysamis. When we are dealing with Isserei de Rabbanon, Pasakum is Isser de Rabbanon, then it's enough with one Chaysam. Okay, that's the discussion in the beginning of the Halacha. I want to tell you two shocking details that might shock you when we talk about these points. Number one, there is a tshuva from Rabbi Moshe Feinstein. Moshe Feinstein says that if you go into a supermarket chain, a goyish supermarket chain, and they're selling kosher meat, says Ramosha, if it has shnei chesamos, if it has two wrappings, two seals, it's 100% permitted. It's a Iger Smicha Yeridea Chelik Aleph Simin Vav. There are some poskim that say that if it belongs to a guy, you need more than just two chesamis. You would need actually a shaymer, a mashgiach. Ramosha goes on in the tshuva to prove it doesn't have to be that way. It's enough just by having if it's only two proper seals, what qualifies as shnei chesamis, it would be able to be bought from a goyish chain. See, that's the one perspective, one angle. That's from a goyish store. When you look in the Ramah in Sif Aleph, you're going to get shocked. The Ramah says, "V'yesh aimrim deloi be'inon beis chaysamois rak b'Yisrael chashud." It's worse to buy from a butcher or a storekeeper that belongs to a yid who people talk about him, that he's a chashud, that he doesn't do the right things, is worse than buying from a goyish store. Perhaps to buy from a Yiddish store who is chashud, then you need shnei chaysamis. Avo ba'evik echavim, if you're buying from a goyish store, hako shari al yidei chaysam echad. From a goyish store, you would only need one siman, one chaysam, one wrapping, one seal. It's by a yid chashud that's worse. Why? Says the Shach, concerning this possibility of way how to make money, a Yisrael chashud is worse than a guy. He knows he's Jewish, and if anybody will ask him, even if the rabbi comes and asks him, and he answers, he might be lying, but he has the power of trust. I'm a Yid. He thinks that anything he will say, he will be trusted. And therefore, loy mirtas, he's not afraid. A guy, at least, always is worried that who knows if they're going to trust whatever I say. So therefore, he has at least that working on he has the concept of mirtas in the sense that even one chaysam he won't break. A Yid who always thinks that he'll do whatever he wants, and then when they ask him, he'll lie, but they'll trust him because he's Jewish. For that type of person, it's worse than buying from a goyish store, and for that you need shtei chesamis. Yeshikoyach, and please join us again next week.